a legendary actor that spent over 60 years on the silver screen, nominated for many awards for being a leading man for all his movies, films from westerns to war films. Playing a lawyer, a cowboy, a war hero, a detective, and even a father figure throughout his Hollywood career. His style of dress would be implemented in various period dramas in the modern day. Politically active whilst being an actor, and even working with other legendary actors and legendary actresses of his time. He was even a hero to many around the world, with his legacy that is still being honored today. This is the great Gregory Peck, and this is his basic biography. Early life. Gregory Peck was born in San Diego, United States on the 5th of April 1916, during the time when United States was fighting in World War One, and with the rest of the world being involved in the war. He grew up in California for the most of his life, with his father being a pharmacist and his mother being a homemaker. They divorced in the 1920s, which had an effect on the young Gregory Peck, then even being sent to live with his grandmother after the divorce. He managed to spend the rest of his childhood life living with his grandparents and sometimes spending time at the movies theater watching movies every week. He would be then sent to the military school at a young age, and even attending the San Diego High School when he grew older, as this would be due to moving back to his father in his teen years, as well as the death of his grandmother in that later year. He would even spend time into universities to become a doctor and aspiring to be a doctor. These universities were San Diego State University and even the University of California during the 1930s where he was able to attend them. Whilst at university, he was able to excel in sports to become a rower at the University of California, and sometimes acted in various theatre plays when studying to be a doctor. When he would be and he would also be working various odd jobs just to pay for his tuition fees, as well as being part of an acting class or acting troupe at the same time. Attending university or universities to become a doctor, Gregory Peck managed to graduate from the University of California, but not San Diego State. He would change his career path though by becoming an actor instead of a doctor. This was due to his love of working on stage whilst being in education, and later working on stage in New York, where he would be moving there to work with various playhouses. He would spend some time being broke or having no money to support himself due to being with various theatre companies that paid him less money. It would not deter the young Gregory Peck, as this would still be a learning curve for this young actor. He would still continue to act and spend more time working in odd jobs just to make ends meet. The 1940s would see the young Gregory Peck finally making it to Broadway, and even being part of a playhouse uh, and even small stage appearances on Broadway. He would star in his first appearance on stage in 1941 play The Doctor's Dilemma, and continued to act thereafter. However, World War II was in full swing at the time he was becoming a stage actor, or becoming a lead on stage, as these events of the war was in the forefront of people's minds, rather than Gregory Peck's major appearances in the first performances he ever done on stage. Yet the war continued to wage on, and even his name was beginning to be used in various production companies at the time. Hollywood was the next thing on Gregory Peck's mind, as during this time of the mid 1940s, the war was about to end, and the young Gregory Peck would have some acting credits. Whilst being a new actor on stage, he was then given contracts by various film studios such as MGM, um, who was one of the contenders and even competitors of other stage companies that was giving contracts to this young actor. Yet his starring role will be given to RKO Pictures, which had Gregory won over Gregory Peck, and even offered him his first movie role as a leading actor. He would play as Vladimir in the movie Days of Glory in 1944, a movie that had been based on Soviet fighters during World War II. He was also nominated for an Academy Award, which would be his first acting award nomination in his next movie in the same year, called The Keys of the Kingdom. Gregory Peck was now a Hollywood star and had got his first leading role when starting in his acting career. This would make him one of the greatest actors or Hollywood actors that have ever been started out on the big screen, as well as having a small beginning. He would spend time in the 1940s working in films as a young leading actor or a leading man with various legendary actors and actresses in the 1940s. He would work in various genres from war films to even westerns, and sometimes spending time in film noirs at this popular era or at the time of these popular genres. Starring in the next film would be him starring in Spellbound in 1945 with Ingrid Bergman, and even directed by new Hollywood director Alfred Hitchcock. The Great Sinner would be another film in 1949 with him starring alongside Ava Gardner, and then finally ending this particular decade with 12 O'Clock High, a war movie set based on the World War II era. The great thing about Gregory Peck, he was able to adapt in various roles and even helped other actors in various roles he was starring in or movies he was starring in. He played he even spent time on working with getting to know stars that were bigger than him, and even had time to be nominated for various awards as being an actor. In the 1950s, Gregory Peck managed to star in many blockbusters that would have him being a Hollywood heartthrob, as well as being a Hollywood hero to many who came to see him on the silver screen. Starring with Ava Gardner again in the movie The Snows of Kilimanjaro in 1952, and where he was able to play as a loverman. He used even to play the love interest with Audrey Hepburn in the movie Roman Holiday in 1953, which had seen audiences go through an adventure with both Audrey Hepburn and Gregory Peck through Rome, Italy, where the two stars were able to adventure and even go through different emotions in Italy. He continued to act as an action star now in various westerns, war films, and even historical dramas, and sometimes spending time in adventure films during the later period of the 1950s, which made him a more of a hero star and allowing other people to see him become more of a hero and even a rugged actor. The 1960s will still see him playing in these roles, but now as a father figure, and even as a lawyer, in new movie roles that would make him an icon. The two iconic movie roles that would be having him becoming a legendary actor and even an icon was the first being Cape Fear in 1962, where he would be playing as a father to protect his family from the crazed criminal killer that was played by Robert Mitchum. Later on in that year, or in 1962, he would be playing in his greatest role ever, and even being one of his favorite roles of all time, playing the great Atticus Finch in the 1962 movie To Kill a Mockingbird, where he was playing that particular lawyer character who had to defend a man who was being accused for committing a crime that wasn't his fault. This would be the movie that Gregory Peck will become an Academy Award-winning actor, and even a hero to many Americans and many people around the world, even to the presidents of the United States. Personal life and final years. Gregory Peck was married at least two times in his life. First wife was Greta Kukkonen, and their relationship lasted from 1942 to 1955. His second wife was Veronique Passanini, and they were married from 1955 to 2003. He would have at least 5 children with his relationships with his wives. Whilst being an actor for most of his life, Gregory Peck was able to stay active in politics by working with the Democratic Party in the United States. Some suggestions were given that he would one day become a president or work to have his own presidential campaign whilst being a legendary actor. This was due to one of his friends, Ronald Reagan, becoming an actor in the 1980s. He was an activist as well, with his views being against war and even more liberal rather than being conservative, which most actors and actresses were at the same time, with opposing against the Vietnam War and any war the United States would be fighting in. He continued to win more Academy Awards and win more awards, even working with directors of the modern era, who now are legends of the silver screen. He starred in more movies in the coming decades of the 1970s, 1980s, and even in the 1990s, where he would be playing as an action star and then becoming a father figure or an elderly person. In 1976, he would be playing as Robert Thorne in the iconic movie or horror movie The Omen, where he was able to play as this Robert Thorne, American diplomat who was able to stop the Antichrist. Then in the 1990s, he would star in in remakes of his own films. These films were Camp Fear in 1999 with actors such as Robert De Niro, Robert Mitchum again, Jessica Lange, and even Nick Nolte. Also starring in Moby Dick in 1998, which was a remake of his 1950s movie Moby Dick, with Sir Patrick Stewart as the leading man, and with another supporting actor, Dominic Purcell. His final film appearance, or final appearance overall in the film, will be a film based on himself in 2000. He would retire after 2000 and still be able to make appearances outside of film and even outside of Hollywood. Legacy and death. The great actor Gregory Peck passed away on the 12th of June 2003 in Los Angeles, United States. He was 87 at the time of his death, and he would have contracted pneumonia, which would be the cause of death. There was many actors and stars in Hollywood that attended his funeral who remembered him for his roles and even being a great actor as well as friend in real life. As these actors were in the movie To Kill a Mockingbird, two other legends of the silver screen being able to work with him. He was a legend that people would still remember today for his activism and even being a hero of the silver screen himself. He was even given many awards in his later life, even sometimes after his death, having a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame given to him, as well as other awards and recognitions from various companies and various organizations. His legacy still lives on, though, even till today, with the previous president and a hero himself, Barack Obama, citing To Kill a Mockingbird was being one of his favorite movies, and Gregory Peck playing his hero, Atticus Finch, in that particular movie. Gregory Peck was also celebrated in 2011 as being an American hero, as well as Gregory Peck's birthday being celebrated with a contribution to Hollywood in 2016. Some of his style of clothing and even acting has been inspired by various actors and even being used in media such as that are being shown today, even shown on television series such as Mad Men, implementing his style of clothing in that particular series. His family had kept his legacy alive, and his grandson is now acting today. His grandson played a hero on television and even on Netflix in the TV series Star Trek Discovery, as he played Spock in 2019. Now, thank you for watching my video, and there was a lot to cover about Gregory Peck. And myself, I've seen him in various films, and himself being a legendary actor. He's actually inspired various actors now. Like I could see that Jude Law and other actors, um, such as John Hamm, were able to use his mannerisms and use his style of acting in their movies. But I do have more content like this, and please have time to subscribe, and please watch my other videos to see what else I talk about. I talk about more about about the Gregory Peck and other actors as well. With my basic biography series, this is now season two or series two of the basic biographies. This video is going to be quite long. I know as basic biography is supposed to be shorter, but this is a very good video, and he's a hero to many, and he's a hero to everyone around the world. But thank you for watching, and please subscribe if you haven't done so. I'm Suki Cookie, and thank you for watching this particular video and all my other videos. Thank you.